Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review, and I am about to babble about Ringo because he released a new album. I guess it's supposed to be a country album. That's what they're telling me anyway. And it's I guess it's not that surprising since I guess he did a country album way back in 1970, I believe. And I guess Buck Owens actually wrote a song for the Beatles at one point too. I don't remember what song it was, but so they do have some like ties in with the country, I guess. And Ringo's always been one to like experiment with different genres and stuff. I mean, he had some disco stuff out in the 70s, and of course he's done a lot of pop stuff. And I was not like this huge Beatles fan growing up. I kind of grew to like know them later on in life, but I was a huge Who fan growing up, and Who is actually probably one of my favorite bands. It is my favorite band. I don't know who I'm kidding. And they actually have Zach Starkey playing drums for them. Has been for many, many years now, who is the son of Ringo. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I went to see them, and I didn't even know he was playing drums at that point. They kind of announced it in the middle of the show, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I have a little bit of an interest in Ringo, and also Ringo tends to surround himself with some amazing musicians on his solo stuff, and including Steve Lukather on many occasions, who I'm a huge fan of Steve Lukather. I love Toto and all the stuff they do. So it's always cool to hear, who he's got, surrounding him. However, on this one, I don't know anybody on this album. He's got a lot of country artists, helping out, and I know there's some big names on here, but I don't know who these people are. So I do know T-Bone Burnett, however, who is the producer of this, which is kind of partially why I was attracted to this album. I like T-Bone's work that he's done with some other artists, mainly Robert Plant and stuff he did with him and Alison Krauss in particular. I thought that stuff was great. I did pick up T-Bone's latest solo album. I don't own any of the other stuff, and that's pretty much a country album, and it doesn't have that same production style as he used on the Robert Plant stuff, so I wasn't really sure what to expect here. But basically what it boils down to is it's a country sounding, kind of, a little bit, but not really country, if that makes any sense. I wouldn't call this a country album. It's got some elements here and there. It's got some, instrumentation that country uses. I don't think the songwriting and the song structures or the songs themselves are all that country. Got more of an Americana feel to it than anything else, I think. But I think that I wouldn't call this country. But there's a few good tracks on here. He's been doing a lot of these EPs lately, like 4-song. I think most of them are 4, maybe 5-song EPs, and I heard that he's going to release all those as like one long album, but I haven't seen that happen yet. So when this came out, I was a little bit surprised that he hadn't, released all that other previous stuff as an album. But I was willing to dive in. I'm really going backwards with Ringo. I've been listening to all his newer stuff. I never really got much of his solo stuff, but picked up a couple here and there. He's got a lot, by the way. He's done more. I think he's had more output than Paul McCartney has in any of the stuff he's done, and even George Harrison. But like I said, I found this enjoyable. I didn't find it too much country. The first song just came, Breathless was kind of just still, that after listening to it several times through, because I probably listened to this album about 4 times, that one doesn't stand out much to me. It just seems like it wants to be a country song, but isn't quite there yet. His singing's always pleasurable. There's nothing that really stands out about Ringo's performance, but he's such a cool guy. Like, I've seen a lot of interviews with him and him talking. This seems like a very cool, chill, relaxed dude. It's very likable. So when he sings, you just kind of, knowing that about him, you kind of instantly just like what he's singing anyway. At least I do. So I didn't mind it. But the title track, the next one in line here, Look Up, is it's got a cool guitar line, and that's every single one of these. I'm not going to say anything more about his singing on this, but all his singing is pretty much the same on every song. He doesn't have a whole lot of emotion in his singing, or a lot of inflection or anything going on in his singing. So it pretty much all boils down to like how good the song performances are. So that one was kind of cool. Time on My Hands has a little bit of a country going back. It's a little bit more stripped back than a lot of the other stuff. Kind of a slower track. Never Let Me Go does. I will make one little more comment. Never Let Me Go has Ringo sounding like he's trying to like sound country, but it doesn't really come across all that well. That was kind of an song for me. Live for Love was okay. He just just kind of sings. I didn't really know the point of that song, quite honestly. Come Back, the background vocals in Come Back were really good, and it's really great harmonies on that one. Can You Hear Me Calling has Molly Tuttle, who I know I've heard the name before, don't really know what she does. Does a lot of the background vocals on this one. And that's one thing I don't know if I said this or not already, but he has got, T-Bone brings in all these great performers. I don't hear a whole lot of like performances that stand out. Like there's a lot of cool rhythm stuff going on. So this doesn't sound like your typical country album to me, which I guess is good. So he's got all these great performers who are supposed to be like top notch, playing a lot of rhythm stuff instead of like maybe the solo stuff like they're normally known for. So I mean, I'm guessing that because I don't really know country that well, so I'm kind of guessing that's what happened here. Like she does, Molly Tuttle does a lot of background vocals on it, which sound great, by the way. Rosetta has a cool and kind of a darker sound to it. Sounds like the metaphors are getting a little bit too overcomplicated, but the in the lyrics, but the guitar in the song's great. Really like that one. Great solo in this one too. And you got Do You Want Some? Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it's got I don't know. It had like a happy feel to it, but I didn't really get too much more out of that one. String Theory was kind of the weakest song on the album for me. I don't know. It didn't. It came across a little bit. I don't know. Like it was trying to be something that else, and it was coming across kind of almost comical. But anyway, that's kind of my thought on that one. Thankful, which I thought was a pretty good song. Turns out to be just, it was a nice little love song, nice way to, end things. And I thought maybe it was a really short album. I think this was a little over half an hour, so it was a cool way to end the album. It wasn't too long, so if you're not in the country, like I keep saying, it really wasn't that country, quite honestly. So it was a nice little short little listen. It was fun. I probably won't go back to this a whole lot because there wasn't a whole lot that stood out to me. There's a couple little guitar lines and guitar parts I thought were pretty cool. Like I mentioned, the background vocals in that one song were really good, but nothing that I thought was absolutely horrible or disgusting or yuck. I don't want to listen to that twangy or anything like that going on. So sorry for all the throat clearing here. I'm like fighting off a cold still, so I apologize for all that, but I'm trying to get through this as best I can. That's kind of why it took me a couple days to get to this as well, because I couldn't even talk. So anyway, thought it was pretty good. Like I've said a million times now, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Leave your thoughts, comments, anything you want to say about Ringo. He's a cool dude. And like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because I really like to keep hearing stuff from Ringo. I think he keeps trying to just try new things, and that's what I keep trying to do with the music I'm involved in, and who could fault the guy for that? So anyway, overall I thought it was pretty decent, but probably not want to go back to. But until next time, we will see you.